Hi there, this is KV and this is the moon phase report for Aquarius. So, let's see what's going on. Okay, cool. So this is a good one for you. This is where you are, this new moon is going to be really awesome to bring in more things into your life that just make you feel happier. So you're going to be really focused on things that have fallen away recently and that haven't worked out, haven't come together. Something just kept blocking it. Maybe it felt like it was supposed to come together and then it didn't. So there could be the element of that. But what this new moon is really kind of bringing you is a fresh new start in your life to just feel joyful and awesome about everything you have. So maybe this full moon before even exposed you to seeing something a little different that you may have labeled as bad. It could be something that wasn't coming to you really naturally, so you thought something was wrong, so you were seeing your life as not flowing the way it was supposed to. Something was having you looking out at things and not thinking like, it's going to be okay, but it's going to be okay. And honestly, if it wasn't coming to you, it wasn't the right thing. So many times these things that we think we want aren't really honoring enough for us, and it's maybe something that could assist us for 5-6 months of our path, but then it would fall away. It's kind of like buying a cheap thing because it's cheap, but then it's not sustainable. It breaks in a year, and then you have to buy another one. So then you see, oh, I'm spending the same price I could have in the first place and had something that would really last. So anything that is not magnetizing to you and to your life now, look at it like that. There's something better for you. There's a reason. There's always going to be a reason that it didn't come together. This can also relate to love. So this can be a big one where you're meeting somebody now. This is definitely a really good time for you to meet somebody new. So it can be something like that, love related, meeting someone, or maybe even something too, because Mercury is going to be going retrograde on the 26th, on the same day that Jupiter goes into Cancer, which is fantastic, because that one's going to be, where's that going to be for you? That's going to be, oh, that's going to be all with your work and stuff, you know, so that's awesome news. That will definitely be, I'll just jump ahead to that one, when Jupiter does officially move into that house, it is going to be, because it's not necessarily that you have your 6th house cusp at 1 degree Cancer. You know, it may be further. It may be 10 degrees Cancer, 15 degrees Cancer, so you have to wait until that point. But that will be a whole solid year, depending on how your chart wheel goes with the numbers around the outside. But unless you have intercepted planets, it could be a bigger house. But it could be like a year of all these awesome opportunities to put you in the best kind of work environment that's out there, or that you won't even, that you haven't found since 12 years ago. It's a 12-year cycle, so it could be like, you know, shifting you, upgrading you into this really positive work thing. I can tell you that all the work I've been doing right now with this new YouTube stuff and really kind of putting my whole heart 100% into my business occurred when Jupiter went into my 6th house of your service to others, work, health, healing. So know that you're getting close to that. So right now he's going to be, Jupiter's sitting in this same house. So he wants to bring you love, you know, he wants to bring you a new partner, heighten your creativity. You know, if anything isn't really flowing in your life the way you want it, get creative. Whether it's writing, painting, making something, woodwork, definitely put your energy towards those kind of areas right now, because that is where opportunities will come later from you doing this. So even, you know, it was funny because now that I think about this with my own life path, is that, you know, I wrote all the birth chart information 14 years ago. So I had 700 pages that I cranked out over a period of, it was kind of in just 1 year, but it wasn't doing anything else. It was just writing. It was just bringing through this information. And when I first brought it through, you know, I would not even lift the pen for 12 pages. It was so amazing. I knew this was special information because how it was coming through. But then when Jupiter was in my house that it's in for you now, that was when I rewrote all those 700 pages, because you know, once we kind of shifted into the new world, those explanations didn't work anymore. They weren't sticky. Like now what I wrote is sticky. Now it's very positive and empowering, and before it was more just how astrology has always been written for decades and decades and decades, and it was good and stuff, but it didn't stick to you. You didn't read the words and it stuck, you know. It was just the listing of details and blah, 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 but it wasn't like, you know, really intertwined with real life experiences, because that's how the new way I wrote it is. You know, I'll talk about something, but then when I was writing it, I would ask for guidance as to what is this person going to have to deal with in life because of this, and what can you tell me that they would need to hear when they are dealing with it. So that's how the new writing came about, and I did that when my Jupiter was where your Jupiter is right now, or transiting Jupiter where it is right now for you. So just know, if nothing is coming together, do something creative, because it very well could be the thing that you share when Jupiter moves into that next house. So don't think that you're not doing anything, you know. If you have heart with it, if you feel like this is really something you're supposed to do, even though nothing in the world is showing that they want this, just still keep working at it. Don't judge anything. A lot of times the other people have to catch up to you and what you're doing, and you're already ahead of the times. So you should know this already anyway, right? So for you, let me go to new moon affirmations just to get those out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I am abundantly creative. I am uniting with a match made in heaven. I mean, might as well shoot for the highest heights with that. I am attracting my love partner. I'm feeling more joy and happiness with my life. I love my life. I am communicating to others in a way that is more loving and empowering. You can put something with communications in it because it is Gemini. So something with I am communicating in a way that the people hear. I'm sharing a message that people really are ready for. Let's see, I think that's enough. So around the themes of happiness, creativity, and love. I am having a child. If you're wanting to do that one, this is definitely, if you want to have a kid, definitely now is a big gate opening for that, and especially with Jupiter sitting there too. Jupiter's kind of like, do you want to expand? Let's have a baby. So if that's what you want, put it on your new moon affirmation list. Definitely, because that's that can be coming through right now. So we also have that T-square I'm going to tell you about. So for this one for you, okay, cool. So this is something that involves you, you know, kind of continuing on this path of a little bit of solitude, definitely doing lots of inner work. There's been a lot of shifts in your private life for sure. So there's going to be part of that going on with whatever you're writing on, we're writing about, communicating, whatever kind of message you're wanting to share. Hold on a minute. Okay, so whatever you're working on, that could be a writing project, some kind of creative endeavor thing that you're wanting to share with the world, is something that is going to have an opportunity soon to, whether you do something with a publishing based thing, whether you're going to go back to school, whether you're going to start up a blog, because it's going to be something where you are going to be allowed this opportunity to share it far and wide. So with the Uranus, like, so this could be something too, like you've been working on a writing project that has been involved, that that has required you to be in a meditative state, or that is along the lines of spiritual awakening, something that requires you to be alone and contemplate your life experiences, your wisdom. And if you're writing about it, or doing some kind of creative project where you are sharing this wisdom, by honoring this, by committing to this, by saying it, even if you just say it in your new moon wishes of I am ready to share this with the world, the opportunity can come now for someone will show up or something recognize you to bring you the opportunity to share this with more people. So maybe it's been more of a solitary, you've been working on this thing for so long, not even knowing if it was ever going to be something that could manifest. And right now, with how things are lined up, you just really need to commit to it, say it, put your whole heart into it, and then just know there's these other really powerful forces like the Pluto and the Uranus. Like I said, it'll bring something out of the blue and it can change your life overnight. So when this can all manifest, it would be fantastic if it could happen like overnight now. And I'm not saying it can't. It could be something that's just like bam. It could be even something like running into somebody in your neighborhood, somebody who knows you, something within this comfortable world of yours that all of a sudden like they need what you're doing. And then they can bring this opportunity for you to feel more positive about what you're doing, but to really kind of really start sharing this in a bigger way. So I would say it's not like you have to do anything to make it happen. This is energy, so intend it. Say that you're ready. Say that you're ready to share your gifts. And then just kind of keep your eyes out for somebody who's just going to show up and is either going to give you the permission to believe in yourself like me, or someone who will bring you an opportunity to get this out there more and to get this so that you can share it with the world. So that's really cool. This is also something too that is, whether it is what you're sharing is to help other people elevate their mind, raise their vibration. It can be something that you're sharing, something that helps them to gain a broader eagle view of life. So it may be that you're sharing stories or something of your healing journey, your transformative journey, and that now you can do this and it can really kind of start taking you to these farther spaces. And also too, it can definitely be you wanting to study something new. It may be you have been working on all this stuff, but there's a key piece to it that requires you learn this other thing. It could also be that it requires you travel to some other place. Maybe you're needing like this retreat where you feel like you need to just regroup, get out of your space, be in a brand new space, and really express this thing. So if it's even something like that, if you've been working on a book or something and something's just calling to you that like, I need to be in a brand new space so I can really give this my heart, definitely put that into your new moon wishes. This also may be something dealing with people from other cultures. So it could be somebody from a whole other world who is kind of jiving on the same things you're doing, and maybe coming together and empowering each other. This is definitely going to mark a point of a turning point though, where something that you're thinking and deciding to change about your thinking could change your whole entire life. So if there's also any kind of things where you are just believing that good things don't come to you, or you have just missed all your opportunities, if you're thinking anything like that, if you're thinking, I don't think I believe in this thing of things working out, if you're giving up on timing, feeling like you've had to wait too long. I mean, trust me, we all do that one, especially anybody who's bringing in New World energy, wisdom. We all sit in that spot of saying, enough of this. I have done too much. I have waited too long. I have been through too much. I'm done. And honestly, I can tell you that that does usually create a shift. in really being completely fed up and being like, enough is enough. But you have to honor that that's part of it. And we all go through that. And I can tell you that when you do pop into the other side, because this thing could like bring some kind of massive liberation, a total change in your life. But once you do pop to the other side, you don't regret one single step of your life. I promise you that. I promise you not one thing will you look back at and be like, yeah, but that thing happened. And if that hadn't have happened, then it would be okay. You don't say that. You look back and it's all okay. You look back and you see how every piece of it has pieced together and brought you to where you are now. So none of it you're going through. I don't care if you go through a whole year of not leaving your house, having friends, having partners, only working on your art, but nobody recognizing it, nobody wanting it. You still, once you move through that journey that has a distinct timeline for you, you will come to this other spot. People will recognize you, people will receive you, and you will not look back at one thing and feel like anything was wrong. So always kind of think that and remember that. I remember too, like that's what I was talking about on the main reading about this new moon book that I created. And I created because I wanted you all to have the opportunity to have a book with all your new moons kept together. And they're listed and it shows when the new moon's coming. It talks about the planet and the sign it's in. So it's a calendar. And I remember looking back at so many of my new moon ones, but I remember a lot of years of like not wanting friendships again, feeling like I'd let all my friends down, like I was never there for them anymore. I was always working on my art. I wasn't there for my people. I want friends. And I remember like all these things, like I'm missing this. I don't have this. I don't have this. I don't have this. And you know, even now I can look at my life and I have all those things now. You know, I can look back at all of my new moon, except for winning the lottery. I've pretty much gotten them all. You know, they have all come. I mean, they're actually, now that I think about it, there's some more that I'm still working on. But they do show up. They do come. You know, being alone, feeling like you're not like everybody else, feeling like you don't know why you're working on this thing when nobody's receiving it yet and wanting it, and are you wasting your time? It's just those are part of the path and they're part of the journey. And that's why I'm even using this avenue here just to keep talking about these things so that you remember that and go, oh yeah, this moment is perfect. You know, so, but there's going to be a shift right now that's really beautiful. And you definitely, I just think this is a really special and profound kind of new moon anyway. And you have it in an awesome positioning. You have it in the house that everybody wants things in, because it's the happiness house, and it's when you feel like joy with your life and in love and creative, and you know. So we also, let me get to that trine with that one. So you are going to see, that's kind of cool. So this is you. You're going to have, this is actually going to really help this thing that you are working on, something that you're creating, something that requires your hands, something that's very utopian, spiritual, bringing in the new age. The Saturn is really going to kind of stabilize that in you, so that you really are going to know that you have these gifts, because there's nobody out there who's really doing something big who didn't own that they're doing, that they're here to do something big. Like they had this confidence in it, and Saturn will kind of be helping you not be so elusive about it or so wanting to hide or tap dance around what you're really here to do. Saturn is up in your career house anyway. He's still in retrograde, but he is going to be the one who's like planting these seeds of, you can do this. You can do this. It's going to make you get really serious about what you're doing in your career life, or at least how other people are seeing you through your profession. When they look at you and go, what does that person do as their career? And part of this is going to be related to your service to others, right? Is that where we're at? Yeah. And to this kind of healing. So that'll really help you too. So right now you are going to be very much like my service to others, my creativity, bringing this out into the world. So there's going to be a lot more of a heart opening to what you're here to do, a shifting in what you're saying about what you're here to do, a stability that's going to be brought, like that's going to kind of like push into your entire body, that really is kind of finally coming to, I know I'm doing something good and I'm not going to give up on this, even if it takes 10 more years to manifest. It's not, though, I can already tell you because of where Saturn's at, it's not, unless you're not believing in yourself. If you're believing in yourself, you're looking at the next couple years, and you're even looking at right now. So from now to the next couple years, the gates are open to showcase what you're doing for the world. So understand that, and go inside and kind of see what you're saying that's keeping you from having this happen. If things are still not showing up, because they should be showing up. You should be getting little signs, little breadcrumbs that are leading you to this. But if you're not, it's just something in your mind. And with the Mercury, with the Mercury, the Sun and Moon in a new moon in Mercury right now. I mean in Gemini right now, which is Mercury. So having it there right now is, what are you saying? What are you saying in your head? What is keeping you? Or what little nagging things are showing up that are saying, no, you really can't do this. You're crazy. And those need to be completely transformed, put into the higher octave, put into, hell yeah, I can do this. You know who I am? No, you don't need to take ego into it. But still, because you're an Aquarius, you do a little bit, actually. Let me scratch that. Put a little ego in. You know who I am? You know? Play around with that, you know? Put yourself out there. Honor that you're doing this cool thing, you know? And then kind of just welcome the opportunities that will magnetize to you, because this thing within you is shifting, because you're like, no, you know. And I've told you that. I think I've told you on this one. I've said it a couple times, but like when my career shifted, it was when I said, universe, I have these gifts and I know that nobody can do it the way I can do it. So bring me the people. I am done with messing with these escape jobs that I'm really good at and I love doing, but I have this other purpose and the people need what I have to share, so bring me them. And that was when everything shifted, and that was when I started being completely and utterly slammed with business. So you can follow my path. That's all you gotta do. With Mercury right now and the Gemini, just state it. You are going to be working on probably several things, so whatever comes up, only do what your heart tells you to do. So if you're feeling so passionate about working on this sewing project, do it. But then when it stops and you're like, I don't know what to do anymore, don't mess with it. Go to the next one, you know. I want to do some writing. Okay, da-da-da. Oh my gosh, I need to do some painting, you know. So whatever you want to be doing at any given time, do that. Don't force your heart to do something that you're not supposed to. You know, when I can't write, I can't write. Although I don't really have that problem anymore, but I used to over the years. Like I just couldn't write anymore. I can't write, and I had to stop. And then it was like, you know, working on other creative projects. So yes, okay, let's leave it at that. You have a beautiful new moon. This is a good one. Just shift something and shift it to the love vibe. Shift it to the faith vibe, you know. I can do this. I can do this. I'm here to do this, period. I don't care what anybody else says or how anybody doubts me because they're full of fear. I can do this. So say that. All right, have a beautiful new moon. I'll see you for the full moon on the 23rd of June when we have a Capricorn full moon. And that's going to be really good too. That's going to be really anchoring. That's going to help us be more patient with the wait too. So you'll more be getting messages of waiting is not so bad, you know. When you're having a baby, you don't want to have that baby at 4 months just because you're 4 weeks. How many? 9 months. I'm like, how long are babies in there again? You don't want that, you know, I want the baby now. I'll just deal with having a 4-month-old baby, you know, and then you jeopardize their life. You don't know if they'll live. They might die. You know, so this is all your creative stuff too. So like if you pull it out too soon, it might just die. When had you allowed it to incubate